Greetings, people, and welcome to the LPF Pod Lounge. Wow, I don't know what's wrong with me. Anyway, this is a podcast brought to you by myself, Ryan Peters of Living Plant Foods. And I decided to do this to basically share the stories of different people that have transitioned to a plant-based lifestyle. Now, this is a podcast that will hopefully inspire you, the listener, on your journey to well-being. I believe that we are all in this together because we are all connected. We are all learning and growing to evolve to become better and healthier versions of ourselves. These conversations are all organic, all raw, all living, and all plant-based. So I hope you enjoy as we share our stories to uplift and push each other forward. Joining me today, I have another very special guest in the Pod Lounge. We've been talking about sitting down and having a conversation for a minute now, and we finally made it happen. Justice Hall is a digital visual artist. He is the creator behind the Fruit Mkt, which is a plant-based lifestyle brand developing nature-inspired clothing, recipes, and creative inspirations with one goal in mind: heal thyself. 38-year-old native of Flint, Michigan, and transplant to New York City, Justice received his BFA in Ohio from Columbus College of Art and Design in 2004. In 2005, he started his first corporate career opportunity as an apparel graphic designer in the urban market. The year later, he started his own design firm specialising in digital art and apparel with a client list such as Kanye West, the Timberland Co, Converse, Nike, American Eagle, Rocawear, Walt Disney, and many more. Dedicated to the congested life of the New York City hustle, in 2012, he willed the need to clean himself mentally and physically. Putting himself away from popular culture and society attachments, he ran back to nature. There was the awakening of his natural self. Inside this natural lifestyle, he became more clearer, sharper, powerful, whole, and complete. Aware of his discovery of self-healing, he became more compassionate and humane towards all life's forms. For Justice, the best way to describe that feeling is love. And there was the foundation of the Fruit Mkt. Yes, my brother. So first and foremost, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out to speak with me today.
Praises.
It's good to have you in the Pod Lounge. As you know, I've called this the Pod Lounge, you know, it's just because it's kind of my space, but I'm sharing the space with everyone. You know what I mean?
Praises.
So
All praises.
So yeah, so you know, obviously I've already introduced who you are, and you know, said a bit about what you do. But I always like the guest, the speaker, to introduce themselves to the listener as well. So my first question would be, who are you and where do you come from?
I'm an artist. I'm an artist who love to just express whatever it is that I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I come from Flint, Michigan. Born and raised. I think being from a tough environment like Flint has given me, um, I want to say, the strength to kind of always stand on truth, and express the hardship, that a lot of people look over, especially being from the States. So, yeah, man, that's who I am. I'm an artist, a creator.
Nice, amazing, man. And so, what's your profession? Tell the people what type of artist you are and what type of creative you are.
Studied fashion design, and I've always kind of done that, on the side. But professionally, I've been doing graphic design. I've worked with numerous companies. I started off with South Pole, which is a urban brand here in the United States. And immediately right after that, I started um, working for Timberland Company, which is the footwear company. They also have
Nice.
a clothing line.
Mm-hmm.
I did some stuff with Kanye West, the Touch the Sky merchandise tour
Mm-hmm.
T-shirts. Perry Ellis, and I'm gonna just run through them. Perry Ellis, Triple Five Soul, David Bite and Buffalo Jeans, Academics, Nike, Converse, um, Tacma, which is another brand, kind of street brand in the Midwest, but they have some pretty tough affiliations with American Eagle and DSW, et cetera, et cetera. But just yeah, tons of brands, man. Man, a lot of brands. So yeah, I've worked as a graphic designer slash digital artist for majority of my career.
Awesome, man. That sounds great. So,
Hmm.
I heard obviously everyone's gonna want to know, wow. So how did he get in with Kanye? Because obviously that's a big name. I know all the other names are big as well in the fashion world, but in the music world, you've worked with someone like Kanye West. So how did that come about?
Well, Signature Network is a company that does licensing apparel for a lot of artists, or at least at that time. I don't know where they stand now, but I was commissioned to do some work for the company, Signatures Network, and I forget the representative who worked for the company. That I forget her name, who I was dealing with, but we're going back and forth on somewhat of a direction. She told me that it was based on Late Registration, which is the album that he put out at that time. And right around that time, I was listening to it. So, him being from Chicago, me being from, Flint, Michigan, we're both, Midwesterners. I knew who he was, and it was an easy job. So I didn't really have to take too much direction from her. I just kind of was just grooving off of what the lyrics were saying and kind of pulling inspiration from, um, just being from the Midwest.
Hmm.
And I submitted, I want to say about like four designs to her. And then, the process that B was I submit to her, she submit to the client, and she was kind of like the middleman. And what happened was being Kanye, he saw the designs and, instantly knew that, this what he was looking at was something, that was powerful. And it got straight to me. So, he was like, yo, who did these graphics? I want to meet him. Matter of fact, tell him to meet me and on tour. And I want him to design for me.
Oh, wicked.
So, yeah, so like, she ended up like, we've done work previous, the girl that was representing Signature Network, we've done work previously, like for Ozzy Osbourne and Little Skinner and other rock groups and bands. And when it came to Kanye, she called me back, and usually, I get oh, they like this or they like this and change this. But she was like, well, you know, he want to meet you, like tomorrow. And I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. And she was like, well, I'll get the ticket. Don't worry about it, and go ahead and see what happens. This is a little different. We don't do stuff like this, but we want to keep them happy. And so there it was. I flew out, met him in what was it, Knoxville, Tennessee, and
Yeah.
I met the whole Good Music team. I met all of those guys, and we were pretty much on tour, just designing.
Nice.
Working with Kanye was great because his work ethic is similar to mine. Like he's very. I love talking art, and Kanye West can talk art. Like we can talk art for hours. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
knew his composition. He knew his color scheme. He knew, what drove him to his final destination. Meaning like why he executed in such manner. You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
spoke very very clear. We talked about music. We talked about culture. And we would design from like sun up to sundown, just him and I, and we built this great relationship.
Nice.
Um, and, and I would tell you this story. I'll give you this one. Um, it got to the point where, and you know what, this was 2006, so I'm sure we both transcended and changed, and
Of course.
but what I did notice is when I was working with him is he was surrounded by a lot of yes men. I felt like his environment was completely fake.
Right.
And I felt like the reason why we bonded so well is because I was kind of an outsider who um, who didn't conform to like his environment. Like I still was just my own man. I was me. I was honest. I was blunt. I didn't tell him what he wanted to hear, and I was just a straight shooter. And I think he respected that.
Mm-hmm.
But me being a new guy, everything is that much more intense or magnified because it's like, wow, this is the culture that you're surrounded by. So that was a huge turnoff for me. I mean, just a huge turnoff to the point like on my third day or my third, I was ready to leave.
Right, right,
And the
right.
thing is, he was like, yo, by the time, everything was finished and complete, you know, Don C was like, yo, you know, you don't have to leave, you don't have to go. And I was like, nah, I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was like I was like I couldn't stay just because, like I said, I didn't like the type of environment. And I'm a brother of the truth, hence the Fruit Market,
Yeah.
which I'm sure we can get into. But
Oh, absolutely.
everything that I do is built on principle and truth. So that's one of the reasons why I want to say walked away from that opportunity because I felt like they wanted me to be a part of the entourage. It was
Yeah.
kind of extended, and I respectfully declined. Kept
Okay.
it moving.
Well, you got to keep it moving, man. Sometimes you just got to stay true to yourself and how your spirit feels, and if that's how you felt in that moment, what I mean. I'm sure you made the best decision.
Of course. I mean, I think about it all the time, obviously, because I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, he is one of arguably the biggest artists and for sure an icon in his right. The guy is a genius. Let's not get that confused.
Yeah. Absolutely.
However, if the spirit is telling you something, you got to follow your heart, and,
Yeah.
so,
Cool.
yeah.
Wicked, man. Okay, so that's a bit about your background, which is super interesting, and it's great to share with the listeners. So when did you like? Let's fast forward to, well, I don't know when you decided, but let's fast forward to kind of now, and you lead a plant-based lifestyle, I should say, right?
That's correct.
That's correct. Okay, so when did you
Mhm.
decide to transition to a plant-based lifestyle, and why?
Well, all right. Being in New York City, I've been in New York City for 15 years now. And one thing people notice quickly when they come into the city is the electricity. It's a huge energy of just hustle. New York is very, very vibrational in that aspect. And you kind of get sucked into it. It's like you're in a trance because everybody's coming and going. There's tons of talented people who come here to perform on, I want to say, the highest stage or the biggest stage
Yeah,
to make it. This is where concrete dreams are made of.
yeah,
So it's like you know New York has that. And I've been in this for 15 years, and I want to say just going and going and in and out of fashion houses and projects and with having children, I just felt like I was overwhelmed and I felt like I lost sense of purpose. I was attached. I was addicted to the grind and the hustle and the never ending projects. Um, and I wanted a greater feeling. I felt like, I was obviously depressed. Um, and I needed something, that was something internally that needed to be fulfilled. Um, I want to say right around that time of that type of inner calling, I was looking for all types of answers. I became an Israelite. I started blaming, the corrupt system of the government.
Right, right,
I
right.
started
Yeah.
looking at slave, like
Yeah, yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
the path that,
Yeah, yeah. The path to
we all go through.
awakenness, I should say.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and it got to the point where, the tears was coming and I got tired of blaming and I had to look in the mirror and say, well, what are you going to do?
Right.
And that's when I was like, I need to be responsible for self. I need to
Absolutely.
eliminate, all the noises, all the oh it's the gold and oh it's slavery and oh
Yeah,
it's the
yeah.
white man and oh it's the government and oh Jesus is black and like I just needed to get rid of all of the rhetoric and the noise that I kept hearing,
Yeah.
based on religion and all this other stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna run to nature because nature is quiet. It's always been here.
Yeah.
It never said anything, and it's just there, whispering quietly.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me try that. And it wasn't like nobody put me in that space. It was just like a light bulb went off. Like, try it. Um, and then I started reading, to take it a step back. In the process of reading James Baldwin, I want to say that led me to, um, this Morris. I forget my brother's name. I want to say Noble Drew Ali from
Mm-hmm.
the Morris Science Temple. Um, he brought me into a space where, he had me thinking about, metaphysics. And then from there, I started to go into A Course in Miracles. I don't know if you're familiar with A Course in Miracles.
No, I've never heard that, no.
Man, this book it was the last book that I told myself I will probably read before I started writing my own book.
Right.
Um, but the book is broken into like three different phases. It's the it's the word, and when I say the word, it's pretty much a text, and then from the text is a workbook, and then from the workbook is an application. And what they want to do is it's more about being. I want to say it's more about applying than regurgitating. So it's a foundation for inner peace in a sense. So reading, this book along with, kind of running to nature. And when I say running to nature, I'm talking about a whole, plant-based lifestyle.
Right. So
I
you didn't
started
you
off.
didn't actually did you sorry to cut, but did you like leave New York for a bit as well to connect with nature, or was it just literally, as you said, just living that plant-based lifestyle?
Yes. Yeah, I left New York. I
Right.
left New York for, I want to say, 2 years.
Okay. And where did
I
you go?
gave it up. I went to Columbus, Ohio,
Okay.
Midwest.
Right.
Um, um, and from there, I pretty much just worked remotely. I still have my New York connects and will work on various projects, to keep money,
Yeah.
and my family fed.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I, uh, I kind of gave up on everything. And I don't want to say gave up on everything because I still was somewhat in the know. Um, but yeah, man, I was running every day in the parks, exercising, extending love, just acts of love,
Yeah.
just, you know, being an example of what I wanted to see in the world.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said, just eating, 100% raw at that time. I want to say I spent a year being a fruitarian, about a little less than 2 years being a fruitarian.
Right.
And yeah, man, it was just sun, love and Whole Foods. It was just that was kind of like, the beginning stages of the fruit market.
Right.
Mhm.
That's great, man. That's an interesting story. And so, how long has it been so far since you transitioned over? So, did you like what was your life like growing up? Did you, was it just the standard American diet? You was eating anything, blah blah
Oh
blah blah
yeah.
blah, and then you just
Oh
decided
yeah.
to switch over. So, how
Oh
long has
yeah.
it been?
It's been, it'll be 7 years in April.
Nice.
Yeah, and like you said, I come from Flint, Michigan. We
Yeah,
all understand that the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, like now
absolutely.
we understand, but back then, there was I had no knowledge, of all these fruits and vegetables. I didn't
Yeah,
know, we didn't know anything. They didn't teach us. Like this is the stuff, that I blamed and was mad. I was like, why didn't they tell us?
yeah,
But obviously we understand that, there's other forces and energies that only to benefit selfishly off their own gains. But you know, we have to be self-responsible.
yeah.
And honestly, that's what the fruit market is about. It's like, okay, well, listen, I'm not here to preach anymore. I've done that. My thing is, how can I be a living example and inspire others, um,
Absolutely.
to kind of say, okay, well, let me be self-responsible and do what I know I need to do, because the FDA and all the other corporations is not going to cut their benefits and their profits for for you know what I mean. So
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
you have to say, okay, well, listen, if the power is in the people, let me flex my power. So I'm just an extension of the greater good, of what that inner self is already telling you. I'm just kind of saying, I'm here doing it, and
Yeah,
whenever
yeah.
you're ready, whenever you're listening, um, you know, you can do it, and I'll support you.
That's amazing. And how, like, how has it made you feel since transitioning your life around when it came to what foods you're consuming?
How did it make me feel?
Like, how has it made you feel? How has it impacted your life in a positive
Oh,
way? It sounds like it has, but just for the
it
listeners
changed
to
it.
know.
Yeah, yeah, it changed it 100%. I think clear. I have self control. It's like, okay, so this is how I explain it. It's a reset button, like when and I feel that you have to go through the necessary processes, whatever that is, that puts you in that, I want to say, finish line, because life is just it's a continuum. Like we all are going to start or finish where we stopped, or
Yeah,
start where we finish. It's like we just keep going in a loop, and it just loops itself around. So it's like once you understand that life is on a loop, you know, anything that comes into its form, whatever it is, you say, "Oh, I've been here before."
yeah,
So it's like it changed me to where I feel like I'm aware of my environment. It made me more focused. It made me more aware. It made me more peaceful. It made me more loving. It made me more compassionate. Um, it gave me power. And when I say power, the power to know myself and to heal myself. Um, it's hard to let's just say this. It's easy. It's easy to de-stress yourself. When someone is let's just say out of not in their right mind, and they're irate, and they come in with negative energy. It's easy to bring peace and watch yourself. You know, mobile, like I want to say control, not even control. I don't want to use a forceful word, but it's easy to kind of like extend good energy and watch that person dissolve into your comfort level. You know what I mean? Like I've done it in so many different ways. It's miraculous at this point. Um, but you'll find yourself as a walking healer. Like
yeah,
you are actually healing people, and people are excited to see you around. You have like this demeanor, this aura of that's non-threatening, and people feel a certain level of comfort, and they were willing to tell you anything, they give you anything. I mean, it's actually amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all credited to my plant-based lifestyle. So I've seen miraculous things, and it made me feel wonderful being on this
That's
this
awesome.
this this lifestyle.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's awesome, man.
But let me say this too, Ryan, because I want listeners to understand that it's more mental than it is physical, right? Like so, the
Absolutely.
food is the automatic consequence that aligns itself naturally once your mind is right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like once your mind is right, then the food, then your decisions is right.
Yes.
Meaning you're
Yes.
gonna just naturally start to eat healthy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it's like
Exactly.
it's like so I want to say anybody who's living a whole plant-based lifestyle, they're spiritual. First, they know themselves,
Yeah.
and they went through I want to say hell because you have to kind of go through that process. They've been through this traumatic experience um, that awakens you or
Yep.
heighten your senses to
Absolutely.
where
Yep.
your mentality now is blossom into this space of just perfect alignment or wholeness, completion, to where now like you said, or like we said, you're just making better decisions. You're making godly decisions. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad you said that because I think it's important for the listeners to understand that that plays such a big part in 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 the shift that people might be looking for. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And especially with the great thing about talking to you is that you are in an industry, and myself as well, where people, it's kind of like, um, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? Um, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But people think like in the fashion industry, in the music industry, they just think that we are people that if we want to get energy, if we want to get high, or if we want to feel in a higher place, it's either gonna be alcohol or junk food or or drugs. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's good
Right.
that you're someone else who is in an industry, even though it is tough and even though you might want to find escapism, you're not using those um,
Substances.
those substances. You're literally just going, as you said, you're going back to nature. You went for a time where you just wanted to escape and you didn't do it through, well, I don't know if you have in the past, but the time where you're talking about now, you didn't do it through different substances. You done it by connecting to nature, and I think that's important.
100%. There's to me personally, everybody's different.
Yeah.
And I respect all of God's children. But me personally, I feel like there is no greater high than the sense of brilliantness. And that's the only way I can describe it. It's like a cool wave of brilliance. It's like you feel like everything, but not in a sense of like
Yeah.
like what's the most complex math problem is. Not that type of knowing. It's a deeper knowing. Um, that everything is okay. Everything
Yes.
is cool. Everything is godly. Everything is a part of God's plan. It's
Absolutely.
one of those type of knowings, and that brings you a level of comfort that that not no substances can match. I
Yeah.
mean, everything is dull
Yeah.
compared to this type of feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you a question. I want to kind of flip it on you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Have you had in your process, in your journey, have you had an experience where you felt like you were inside of everybody you looked at or walked past and felt like this brilliance of I wanted to say ecstasy. I don't know I can't describe this feeling, but I've had it. I want to say at least 3 times where I felt this just amazing, jubilant feeling. It made me cry actually. 3 times I mean, I was just not weeping, but it was like this joyful over satisfaction of bliss. It was crazy.
I've
Have you
had
ever felt that?
Yes, I have, man. And I feel it. I think nearly every day.
Okay. All praises. All praises.
You know what I mean? And I think that's just got. I know exactly where you're coming from, and I think that's got to do a lot with, again, as you said, your state of mind, and obviously what you're fueling your vehicle with. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I've definitely felt that, man.
Mm.
I know
Yeah,
exactly
'cause
where you're
like I
coming
said,
from.
I had it in three occasions where I know where I just wept.
Yeah.
Um, and it was just like, wow, all right, so yeah, go get back to what
No,
you were
no,
saying,
yeah,
but
no, that's
I just
great.
had to bring that up
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
know um, that those feelings was just unmatched, and I will always remember those days and where I was at when those moments came down upon me, and I was just like, wow, all praises to the Most High.
All praises, exactly. That's amazing, bro. Um, so yeah, so on your journey to discovering these amazing fruits and vegetables that you never knew about growing up, um, how did you come across them? Like, did you read books? And if so, what books did you read? Did you watch any documentaries, any films, any movies? Like, what helped you on your way?
Well, I read the list of I read the Bible. That's one. Let's start there.
Right.
Read the whole Bible. From the Bible, I read like I said, James Baldwin. Um, and then from James Baldwin, read just about all his books. And then from there, I read A Course in Miracles, which is wow, a very very powerful book. And then from there, I want to say The Food Doctor: Healing Foods for Mind and Body by Vicky Edson and Ann Marber. And the book I just keep on me is a book called The Prescription for Nutritional Healing.
Right.
And it kind of just breaks down, drug-free remedies using vitamins, minerals, and herbs. And it just kind of talks about what's in your food. And so those are books. As far as documentaries,
And are
First of
they
the
are they
Dive.
books are they books that you would recommend to the listeners?
Oh yeah, all
Yeah.
those books I just listed, I would definitely recommend. A Course in Miracles, I think is the book you need first. I
Nice.
say that because this is mental. This is mental. Christ said, "Man doesn't live off bread alone." So that kind of shows you that it's really not you know solely what we eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like if you can maintain the spirit and the mind, everything else consequently falls into place.
Absolutely. And what's the name of the book
Yes.
again?
A Course in
A
Miracles.
Course in Miracles. Okay.
Yeah.
Wicked. Yes, and documentaries.
Documentaries are, I'll say, Forks Over Knives. Um, what else? What else? Super Size Me, I think it was.
Yep.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I gotta give shots out. Oh, I'm so sorry. Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi and my brother, Dr. Aris Latham. Is that how you say his name? Latham,
There we
right?
go. Yeah, yeah.
Man, those guys were very, very. Yo, when I started, like, nobody knew who Dr. Sebi was. He's a household name now. But,
Right.
like, I was following Sebi for, like, I'm like, yo, this is the God right here. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
right,
this
right.
this guy is like he's like Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like he was coming with truth on top of truth on top of truth on top of truth. When I was studying to be an Israelite, that's when I found CB. And CB, like his words, his how he approach,
Yeah.
the whole lifestyle was just unmatched. He was very charismatic and he was bold, and I was attracted immediately. And then from CB, I want to say I graduated, and I say this respectfully to CB because all praises. But you know, as I move higher into self, I started to let go of the color program, is what I call it. And I want to say Dr. Aris Latham never kind of used the color program. He pretty much kept it, fruits.
Yeah.
And I like that. I was like, if I'm gonna be, the all spiritual being, and the lover of self, and when I say self, I'm talking God self, everybody. If I'm gonna
Absolutely.
love all forms of life, I need to not look at melanin skin, and what I mean, like I need to transcend past, you know, the black or the white or the
Yes.
red or the, I mean, like I need to get past that. So that's why I say I graduated to Dr. Latham, Maurice Latham, because I like the way his tongue was when it came about, the lifestyle, and I felt like, he was a little more refined in that space. So I mean, both brothers are necessary. They're like Martin and Malcolm.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I love them dearly, and I want to say I credit both of them brothers hugely. So, when it comes to documentary, watch everything on those brothers. Watch everything. Not don't ignore anything because it's all helpful. They're all helpful.
Yeah, and I think I would even throw in Dr. Leila Africa in there as well, because I think
Mm,
he's awesome as well. I know he has a different approach, but um, I love his approach as well. I think he keeps it pretty real and straightforward. Have you heard of him before?
you know what? I haven't. I've
Oh, you
been
haven't?
told by a few people, but I never got into them. I'm
No, you
sorry.
you got to get into that guy, bro. He's
Yeah.
yeah, man. He's great. He is great.
Okay. Okay.
Again, his approach is different, but you know,
How is this? So who is he more like out of Aris and CB?
he's more like Sabi actually,
Okay.
but just on a next tip.
Okay. Okay.
Just the way
Okay.
he presents his lectures or his talks. You can find some
Right.
stuff on YouTube on him, but he has a great book which I got into a while ago called the African Holistic Health, and that's an amazing book. So I would definitely recommend that to you as well
All praises. Thank you,
to
my
get into
brother.
that. But yeah, no, that's good, man. I think it's important that whoever's listening, um, you know, knows what you what you read and what kind of fed your brain on your journey to well-being.
Facts.
So that's awesome, man. So you say you have a family, you have children?
Yes, sir. I have a 13-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son.
Wow,
And they are the joy of my life, man. Like they're
man,
beautiful kids, beautiful kids. I mean, the heart.
that's awesome.
My whole thing when I was, entering fatherhood was, I wanna see the world that I'm imagining. I want my kids to be a reflection of what the ideas that I have in my head for the world that I want to see.
Absolutely.
So it's like I made sure that that the music was cultural, what I mean, from like, bossa nova to jazz, Afro funk to,
Hmm.
Eric Copland from like, orchestra to like Little Uzi Vert, I mean, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything, what I
Everything.
mean,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And we raise them on love. I make sure my kids smile every day.
That's
Like
beautiful.
their cheeks, are brolic. What I mean? Like they got nice fat cheeks. Not fat as in fat, but like because they smile so
Yeah,
much,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like they have nice cheekbones, and like it's just like I play with them. I give them love, and
Beautiful.
definitely make sure that they are respectful. So,
What's their names?
Brooklyn is my daughter name, and Balin is my son.
Amazing.
Brooklyn and Balin. Yeah, so
And Brooklyn's the oldest? The eldest?
Brooklyn is, yep, she's the oldest, 13. She just turned a teenager November 14th. So have a teenager on my hands, man. And you
Wow,
know what's
man.
funny is like I'll meet somebody, um, and you know they ask, they don't, first of all they think I'm a teenager.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Young at heart,
They
young
like
at heart.
exactly. So when they hear that I have a 13-year-old daughter, they like, "Whoa, man, how old are you?" And then I tell them I'm 38. They like,
Whoa,
"Whoa."
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and then first thing I tell them is fruits and vegetables, and
Exactly.
I'm usually leading people into the lifestyle based on just who I am. You know, they
Yeah,
like, well,
yeah.
how old are you? And I'm like, yeah, I eat plant based, and they're like, oh man, I need to do that because
Yeah, yeah,
man,
yeah.
you got 2 kids and you looking like this. I'm
Looking
like,
at that,
yeah,
yeah,
man,
exactly. That's great.
yeah.
So then, saying that, how was the reaction from family? Like, are your children plant based? Do they eat this way, or do they eat, just the quote unquote normal way? Or to me,
Yeah,
that's
that's
not
a
even the
good
normal way,
question.
but
That's a
how we
good
eat is the
question.
normal way now. But
Right,
I
right,
feel it is anyway.
right.
But yeah, so how is it for them?
You know what? They eat the typical American diet.
No way.
Yeah, I know. I started out, leading them into, a plant-based, lifestyle, and it just, I have a wife, and she was with it at first, and I want to say she had got a scare because like I think because we just had our son then. She was breastfeeding. She still breastfeeds actually, and uh, she felt like she was getting low on her iron, so she actually did get iron deficiency,
Right,
and my son was iron deficiency, and that scared her. And as a mother, she was kind of spooked out, so she
right.
blamed me for like some stuff, and I didn't want to come between. You know, that. So my thing is, I'd rather be peaceful than to be right.
Right.
So my thing is, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to just be an example. I'm going to show them by example. I'm not going to forcefully make anybody do anything that they
Yeah.
don't want to do,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Because you can divide, the family and the house that way. So, and more than anything, I love them. So it's like I didn't want to be that type of person that felt like a dictator of what they did and what they could do. So I give my kids the total freedom. I tell them more than anything, like, listen, you're God. I'm God, you're God, and I want you to make your own decisions. However, I'm going to show you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to show you. And when you're ready, I'll be right here. So I give them the power. And like I said, I'm a living example. When they see me running and outrunning them and jumping over fences and
Yeah, yeah,
doing
yeah.
push-ups, and that's inspirational. So they're I would like to say when they're still children, but when they blossom and get a little more wiser into their decisions, I think it'll come my way. So, and that's just me being an example of what they should be. So, I'm not stressing it. Yeah, it does hurt a little bit,
Yeah.
but
when you're
but
seeing him eating chicken and shit around the table.
right, but I give all praises to the Most High, and I pray, and like I said, I'm an example of what they should be doing. So let's see what happens. I got all the faith in the world.
Yeah, well, again, they're still young, they're still trying to find their way, and I think, as you
But
said, you're a living example. So I think once they
right,
get to a point of, as they continue to grow, and especially in this day and age, there's so much information out there.
right,
I think they'll probably, you never know. They'll probably
right.
they might find their way as well, and
Hmm.
switch, or they might not. So again,
Right.
all you can be is an example, and I think you are a great one, my friend. So that's dope.
Right. All praises. Well, let me just, for the record, let me say that um, they eat very, very well. I mean, again, they will eat some meat, but
Yeah,
they're very much balanced. Like my kids eats a lot of fruit, obviously because it's in the house.
yeah,
but so they're way above average when it
That's
comes
great.
to regular normal kids. Um, and I would say probably like they're 70-30.
Yeah.
Like what I mean, maybe 80-20. But obviously in the summertime it's 80-20, but in the winter it's 70-30. You know what I mean? If
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
fair. So
yeah.
yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, let me ask you a question, bruv. So,
Hmm.
what is usually in your fridge?
Say that again.
What's usually in your fridge?
Oh, coconut water for
Whew.
sure.
That's the one.
That's the internal cleansing right
There
there.
we go. There we
Coconut
go.
water is for sure. Buy them by the cases all the time.
All the time.
Um,
Is
yeah,
that the
and
young
then
Thai coconut?
of course,
Yeah,
young,
yeah.
young, yeah,
Wicked.
and then and then obviously right after that will be kale. Kale is king, um, and mangoes. What's funny? Like I I don't really use the fridge. I mean, if my fruit sits on the counter, like I like to see my fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like
Same.
a lot of my fruit, apples, pink ladies apples are my favorite.
Yeah.
Um, all the leafy stuff is in the refrigerator. Let's go through the list: spinach,
Yes.
kale, broccoli, basil, mint,
Got them
um,
herbs in there. Got them herbs in there.
rosemary. Um, um, let's see, grapes,
Nice.
blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. I like my mangoes room temperature, so I don't even really put them in the refrigerator.
I feel you on that
Um,
one.
mhm. My young coconuts is in the refrigerator. Um, let's see what else. Watermelon. Oh my goodness, watermelon,
Whew.
papayas. Um, um, yeah, man, that's about it. I put almond milk, um, orange juice because when I make my smoothies, I use orange juice. Um, what else? Oh, walnuts, pecans, pistachios, raisins, apricot, figs, dates. Um, yeah, man, like that's in the fridge. And then I have a family, so they may have their side of the fridge too, which is disrespectful, but
Well, it's good.
but
It's good. It's good to reveal what's in your fridge because a lot of people that may be transitioning or that might be vegan but not really eat much fruits and vegetables. It's good to share that's what's in your fridge, so you can
right.
inspire people. So they, maybe next time they go shopping, they'll be like, you know what? Let me get some figs. Let me get some
Hmm.
grapes and some coconut
Hmm.
water. So
Oh yeah.
it's good for you to share that, man.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Let me turn around and ask you what's in your fridge.
Wow, what's in my well? We got some coconut water, obviously, in the fridge.
Hmm.
As always, we've got some freshly squeezed organic apple juice in the fridge as well.
Hmm.
We've got some green juice that I bought earlier on. Actually, that's in the fridge. And then yeah, all the green leafy vegetables. Romaine lettuce is in the fridge. Romaine lettuce? No, red leaf. We've got some red leaf lettuce in the fridge. We've got some zucchinis, which we call courgette in London.
Mm.
Um, we've got some scallions. Obviously, another word for that is green onions or spring onion. We've got some cucumber, some bell peppers. Mainly veggie fruits, to be honest.
Yeah.
At the moment, we've got some cilantro, which is coriander, some herbs in there, some parsley and stuff. So just a lot of fresh, leafy greens and herbs, man. And again, like you, I keep all the most of the fruit. I like to see my fruit as well, so I like
Yeah.
to keep, the mangoes and the bananas and I got some mangosteens yesterday actually, which is on the side.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, man, just the good stuff, bruv.
Nice.
Just
Nice.
the good
Nice.
stuff. Just the good. On that note, because I always ask this question to my guests, I would love to know what is your top three favorite fruits. Give me
My
your top
top
three
three.
from
You
one to
said
three.
fruits?
Yes.
Okay. I would say number one would be it's difficult, man. I got three, but I'm just trying to figure out in what order. Um,
It's always a difficult one.
I, yeah, it is very difficult, but it's funny. Um, I would say number one is mango, man.
Yeah,
Number one is
man.
mango.
I'm
You know what
with
I'm
you,
saying?
bro.
I was telling my, I'm a twin. I'm sorry, I should have said
Oh,
that. I'm
yeah.
a twin. I have a twin brother,
Wow.
and
Identical?
I was no, we're fraternal, but
Okay.
and he's the total opposite. This guy loves meat. I mean, he eats fish sticks.
Right, right, right.
But I love him, and he's in good shape too, though. But anyway, I was just telling my twin brother, I don't think it's possible for somebody to eat mango and be mad. You know what I'm saying? Like like mango is just a happy, beautiful, spiritual, uplifting fruit. The flavor of mango is just like sunshine. It's like if God came and was like, you know what, you're troubled, eat a mango, right? Like I don't think you can be mad eating a mango. Mango just immediately puts me in a happy
Happy
space.
space, bro. I feel you.
You know what I mean? Like, like seriously, it was raining, pouring down. I'm eating mango, and I felt the sunshine. Like that was
Yeah,
it. You know what I
trust. Yeah,
mean?
it
Like
doesn't
it
matter
was just
what
like,
weather it is. Like the mango will put you in that
yeah,
space.
it's just like mango, bro. So that's why mango is number one.
Number
Mango
one.
puts me
Yeah,
in a great space. You know
yeah.
what I mean? All the time. After that, I would have to say coconut water. Coconut
Whew.
water does the same thing. Like, you know, Aris hit that right on the head. He said it's like drinking milk from the breast of the
The
earth.
earth. Yes, he
And
did.
I've been trying to find a way to describe the taste of coconut water every time you sip it, and he was right. He hit it right on the head. It's you would never get over that first sip. Like soon as it's, I don't know, it had the electrolytes in it just gives you that charge or that
Just gives you
power.
that. Exactly.
So I would say number two is coconut water, and I'm a runner too. I
Hmm.
should have mentioned that. I run a lot, and after a good run, there's nothing like one coconut, and then two, which is my third favorite fruit, watermelon. Oh my
Oh
goodness,
man,
watermelon.
man,
I'll take a mini
watermelons.
watermelon, cut the top, like just the top, grab a spoon, and boom, I'm
Just
good.
scoop that out.
So yeah, man. So those are my three favorite fruits.
Hmm.
Um, mango, coconut water, and watermelon.
That's a good one, bro.
Yeah. What about you, my
That's
brother?
a good one. Well, mango is definitely number one. Um, Jackfruit might have to be number two.
Mm.
Jackfruit is insane.
Mm.
And then I don't know why I do this to myself. Like I always ask people what the top three is. It's kind of it has to be the top five really, but it just like it just always changes, bro. Like okay, so definitely mango, jackfruit, and I said to someone earlier on watermelon as third, but I don't know because the cherimoya, the custard apple, is amazing.
I don't think I've ever had that. What was that again?
Yo, when you try that fruit, bruv, it's just it's called it comes under the name of cherry moya or custard apple.
Ah,
So I think there's another name for it as well. There's a few names for it, but if you Google that, try and find
okay,
that and try
okay,
that fruit. It's so good. It's part of the I think it's part of the soursop family.
okay, okay. I think
Beautiful.
I seen you post something like that. Is that what I asked about on your picture?
I think so.
Okay,
That's the one with the seeds, the black seeds.
okay. So I never had that, brother. I
Oh,
never
bro.
had that. Yeah, I need to try that one out.
Yeah, I could.
When it comes to apples, Pink Lady is my favorite apple, but I haven't tried what you had. So let me try that first
Yeah, it's
and
amazing. But I
see.
do love dates as well. Dates are one of my favorites too.
Nice.
And obviously coconut water's up there with the beverage and the
Hey,
meat
you
as well.
stretching it out. We said
I
three.
know, I know. I don't know why I'm trying to stretch it out, bro. But I find it hard. I find it hard, bro.
Nah, I get it.
I
I get
find
it.
it hard.
I'm right there with you.
Wicked,
Um,
man.
yeah, man.
Yeah. So on a closing question for you, my brother, what advice would you give to people that are listening in to this Pod Lounge podcast? What advice would you give to anyone that is thinking about transitioning over to a plant-based lifestyle, or they are plant-based now? Like, what advice would you give?
I would I would say balance is key, and that's with anything. I mean, you drink too much water, you would drown, right? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, live a balanced life, and always see um, alternative points of views, not just your own. Like put yourself in someone else's shoes, not to give them the power to, lose yourself, but maintain your perspective. But at the same time, don't be afraid to see it from another point of view as well. I think mentally, that's just great practice. You know what I mean? And that will shape you to be a better human,
Yeah.
to be a lot more compassionate towards others. I would say to be a better listener, to always express from the heart, no matter what trend. I'm in a trendy environment, market, business, profession. So it's like I mean, actually, I get paid well to follow trends or create them. So I've seen, quote unquote, the masses walk and follow into things that has been, somewhat heightened or promoted or created. So I like people who individually think for themselves, just kind of, what we talked about, the whole Kanye West. I couldn't stay in that environment just because I felt like everybody was trying to please one person. It was just a
Mm.
fake environment to
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? So I would say, don't be afraid to be yourself. Be an individual. Be uniquely
Absolutely.
you.
Yes, yes.
And that is the light of the world. You know, if we talked about fruits, right?
Yep.
Like, imagine if God only made one fruit.
Fruit, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we got all this fruit. Like, I love apples for what apple does. I love coconut for what coconut
Coconut
does.
does, yeah.
I like watermelon for what watermelon. Like, taste everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, taste everything. Like, don't be afraid to try new things or see it from another point of view or accept. You know what I'm saying? So accept, be uniquely you, um, and keep extending love, man. And consequently, you know, that wholeness will bring you into a whole food diet. You know what I mean? So, that's my advice. And that's what I'm doing with the fruit market. It's just trying to extend love's message, So
That is that's beautifully said, man. And please give the listeners, first and foremost, give the listeners some information about where they can find you. You know, your social media. You know, please just like, you know, just get that all out so they know about you, and just let them know more about what's coming up for the fruit market.
hmm Or you can find me at the fruit market, and it's spelled THEFRUITMKT. So the market is shortened, MKT. And what's coming is I don't
And
give it out
is
the
that
bag.
your Instagram? Is that your Twitter, Facebook,
I'm
or?
sorry. I'm
It's
sorry.
alright,
Yeah,
bro.
that's Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
So that's kind of the handle of the things that we're expressing and talking about. So everything that we're talking about, the fruit market is a visual manifestation of our words that you're hearing now. So if you want to, kind of relive this conversation, go to the fruit market Instagram account and you'll see everything that we're talking about in digital art form. So all I did was take my truth, my belief, my lifestyle, and say, you know what, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to create it. And being an artist, that's exactly what I did. Is to just say, you know what, and I can die. I can die knowing that I've done God's work because that's exactly what I feel like, a servant of God. Just expressing, something that we already knew, but that was just lost through,
Beautiful.
So check
Nice.
it out. Check it out. The fruit market. I don't forcefully do anything. I try to balance everything out. Where if I might post a lot, I might take 5 days just to rest because
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
natural. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's natural. I don't want to feel like I'm selling anything because I'm not selling anything.
Yeah.
I'm expressing. And it's natural to rest, right? So,
Absolutely.
so if you're looking to be entertained, that's not what it is. It's to be, it's a community. It's a creative space. It's a creative outlet, to be shared and enjoyed. It's not disposable. It's not gimmicky. It's honest. It's my lifestyle. So I appreciate you guys if you followed it, and shared, comment, likes, whatever. You know what I mean? Like let's build. I'm all for that.
Awesome.
Um,
And what's coming
mhm.
up with the Fruit Market next? Anything exciting or?
Yeah, I got a few things that I'm working on. I'm actually working on a book, actually a health book. So I'm really, really excited about this book. I actually just started the beginning. Actually, I've been working on it, but I started the layout, the beginning stages of the layout. Um, and it's going to be a very unique book, a book like you've never seen before. Um,
Nice.
I say that because of the position that I'm in. I mean, it's me. There's only one of me. Uh, so it has everything that It's the parent in me. It's the cook in me. It's the artist in me. It has It's my style. It's hand typography. It's refined photos. I'm a photographer, so it has beautiful pictures. It's pretty much everything that I am in a book format. It has my family in it, so it has a little bit of autobiography-ness to it. So
Awesome.
um, it's a beautiful book. It would be a coffee table book, a recipe book, a creative art studio book. It's all of those in one. And I
Sounds great.
started that. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome book. And the host Ryan is gonna be a part of it. So I got some
Hell
friends and
yeah.
family.
Hell yeah.
Kind of let that out the bag, but
Let it out the
I
bag. You let
got.
it out. I was waiting for you to let it out the bag. I didn't want you to, you know what I mean?
So yeah,
Dope.
it's gonna be great, man. And I appreciate your assistance, man. Like I said, it's friends, it's family, it's my life. You know what I'm saying? It's my
Yeah.
life, and it's extended family. People I love and I build with, and that I think alike with. So it's gonna be a great book, and I can't wait to finish that. Other than that, we're gonna try to do another a Fruit Luck event in
Hmm.
New York, and then I'm trying to get one going in California, Santa Monica area. So all the California listeners, be on the lookout for like a spring pop up Fruit Luck event in Cali. And more, and I just started Second Harvest. I call my delivery drops Second Harvest. Most people call them seasons or drops or deliveries, being that this is a plant inspired product line. I kind of like the lingo harvest. So we dropped the first one that you can get and see now, but the second one is in development, and I'm excited to reveal and drop the second harvest, aka delivery of the product line. So book, pop up, and more products. So yeah, that's coming in the near future.
Sounds awesome, my brother. Sounds awesome. Well, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
let's wrap it up there. I just want to say a massive thank you for, giving up your time to share your journey, to share your story with the world. I think it's important. Do you know what I mean? So thank you very much for giving up your time, um, and spending some time in the pod lounge, man.
My man, I appreciate what you're doing. I think it's needed, and I'm excited to hear all the other amazing guests that you're gonna interview and keep going, man. I salute you, brother. Any way I can help and be an assistant, let me know.
Thank you so much, man. We just got to keep pushing the movement forward, as you said.
Facts,
Keep pushing the movement forward. So yeah, thank you so much, my G.
my brother.
Man, and I'll speak to you soon, yeah?
Thank you, my brother. I
Man.
appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Peace, dude.
Thank you once again for tuning into this week's Pod Lounge. The seed is where all life begins, and for me, every guest that comes into the Pod Lounge is a special seed, sharing insight to hopefully plant new seeds in your minds to help you evolve and grow. I hope you were able to take away some valuable knowledge from our conversation to inspire and influence you on your journey to well-being. Stay up to date with all that I'm doing, whether it be what fruits I'm eating, new Pod Lounge episodes, or music releases. So if you're not already, please follow me over on Instagram, where you can find me at Living Plant Foods, LivingPlantFoods. Thank you so much again. Let's all push this forward. Love, light, and blessings to each and every one of you. Peace.